In this video, we're going to talk about why your wellness product hasn't scaled like some of these other products that you've likely seen online. If you're selling a wellness product D2C and you're still in that 0 to 500K a month range, we're going to talk through the primary bottlenecks that you're either dealing with or you're likely to deal with as you ramp things up. So the good news is there's really only a few constraints, but the first thing we need to do is properly identify what is the actual constraint. So is it a problem with your offer? Is it that you don't have a scalable traffic source? Is it that you're not converting enough of the traffic that's coming through your funnel? Do you have issues with inventory? Are you properly tracking your inventory? Do you have enough cash flow to make your next purchase order? Or it's possible that you or your time is simply the constraint on the growth of the business. So my name is Eric. I'm the founder of Scale Wellness, and I've helped sell over $20 million worth of wellness products online D2C over the last few years. And when we're trying to solve growth D2C, these are the most common constraints that we see. So the first thing that you need to do is actually identify what type of a problem you're actually trying to solve. And from there, we can take a look at the levers that we're able to pull on to help solve that problem. So if the problem lies within the offer, we know that the offer or the success of the offer is controlled by the niche, the price, and your overall margin in terms of your cost of delivery. If you have terrible margins, if you're mispriced, if you're not niched down, it's not going to matter how many people you get in front of or how well you set up your funnel, because it's not going to resonate or your unit economics are not going to check out and things aren't going to be profitable. So within the offer, we have the niche, the price, the margin. If it's an issue with traffic, if we know we have a proven offer and our constraint is just simply eyeballs, then the levers we can pull on are ads, content creation, partnerships, as well as other potential traffic sources like email, organic search, etc. So if you have a proven offer, you have a scalable traffic source, but you're not converting that traffic well enough, then the levers that you can pull on exist within your actual digital infrastructure. So these are the assets related to your funnel. Are they optimized? Can you increase your average order value or your lifetime value in order to get the math to check out? So those are the levers within the conversion rate. Now, if you have a proven offer, you have a scalable traffic source, and things are converting well, the next typical roadblock that people bump into is simply inventory. So the levers within inventory, they're pretty obvious, but it's your lead time and your cash flow. Do you have enough cash to make the next purchase order to fuel your growth? And lastly, over here, if you are the constraint, you or your time, what you need to do is create more leverage. You can do this via labor by building out your team. You can do this via code, so efficiently using different apps and tools help you get a better return on your time and resources. You can utilize capital to speed things up. And it's possible that there is a knowledge gap that exists, which is preventing you from properly identifying what the constraint is and how to solve that constraint. Now, that being said, if we know what the levers are that we can pull on to solve growth, what is the action step that we need to take? Well, the way to solve the offer is to talk to research, and to sell directly to your niche one-to-one. This is the primary way you're going to be able to actually know if your offer is resonating. That's where you can uncover the insights that you're going to need in order to properly scale up a traffic source and optimize your funnel. So it's really just about getting in front of the niche, getting your product out there, and making sure that it's actually creating the desired transformation. So you'll typically know if the offer is solved when you're super clear with who the niche is. There's a clear problem that's solved via your product mechanism. So that means you have positive case studies from paying customers. And typically it means that people are coming back to buy more, and some percentage of them are telling their friends or recommending you. So you're looking for returning customers, positive reviews, and overall organic growth. Now, the other part of solving the offer is making sure that you have enough margin to justify spending to acquire customers. So sometimes you need to take a close look at your actual unit economics, your cost of delivering the product to the customer, all of your cost of goods, your fulfillment expenses, the cost to ship the product to the customer. If you don't have at least 50% left over, then you likely need to make a change either to the price of the product. If you're charging for shipping, maybe you need to pass some of that expense over to the customer. You can look at ways to potentially get your cost of goods down. So how to solve the offer, talk to, research, sell to your niche one-to-one, and tweak your unit economics until it's very clear that this is something people want and you have enough margin left over to justify spending time, energy, and resources on dialing up a traffic source. So now if the traffic is the constraint, again, meaning we have a proven offer, we've got positive case studies, we've got some organic growth, and we just simply have not reached enough of the niche to grow, what you need to do is focus on creating, broadcasting, and iterating on various content pieces and copy, whether that's ads, organic content, partnerships, whatever your primary communication channel is. If you have a solid offer and you don't have eyeballs, you need to focus on that as the primary constraint. And you're going to use your insights about the niche when you talk to them, when you research them, and when you sold to them one-to-one. You're going to use those insights in order to craft your content and copy. So if you've got a proven offer, you've got a traffic source that's scalable, you're successfully driving clicks, the right type of traffic to your website, into your funnel, but you're not converting at a sustainable rate. Where you want to focus your time and energy in that case is on strengthening your digital infrastructure in order to better communicate the value of the offer to the niche. So this is all about conversion rate optimization. How do we properly optimize our funnel to make sure that we're getting enough value out of the traffic in order to ramp things up? So on the one hand, you need to make sure that your funnel is optimized, that you've done what you can to improve the average order value and the lifetime value. And on the other hand, you need to make sure that your traffic source is actually sending qualified traffic. Now, if you've got the offer dialed, you have a scalable traffic source, you're converting at a sustainable rate. Next, we have the inventory constraints. This really comes down to a preventative strategy. So you want to make sure that you're actually tracking your inventory levels month over month and being super clear with what your net profitability is. And it's about making sure that you know how much cash you're going to need for the next purchase order. So to solve inventory, it's really about tracking. And in some cases, actually financing some larger purchase orders depending on how fast you're trying to grow. Now, with all this being said, how do we remove you as a potential constraint on the growth of the business? Really, this comes down to learning how to identify what the actual constraints are and how to best leverage your time and resources. Again, using labor, code, capital, and having enough understanding of how all these pieces come together so that you can make the next best decision. Now, as you can see, there aren't that many variables that are controlling the growth, but what's important, especially in this early stage when you have limited time and resources, is that you know how to focus the time and energy and resources in order to actually solve the primary constraint. If you are interested in getting some support on solving these constraints or identifying what the constraints are, book a call with us. We have resources that specifically address all of the primary constraints, everything from scripts for customer interviews, how to collect testimonials, how to set up your post-purchase survey to collect feedback at the point at which somebody purchases, what questions to put in that, how to do competitive research, how to use the AdSpy tools. We have a calculator for modeling out your unit economics, which we actually run through on our discovery call. We have an AI copywriting process. We have an SOP for partnerships, for creative iteration, for media buying, for email, process for analyzing your lifetime value. We have a checklist for CRO, email flows, email campaigns. We have a tracking tool for inventory. We go over the 4-quarter accounting principles. We'll show you a couple options for financing inventory, again, if that really is the primary constraint. And we'll show you how to properly leverage your time using labor, code, capital, and knowledge. So we've got a roster of contractors that we can plug in. We give you our tech stack. We have a tool and process for time tracking so you can free up your time. We have a checklist of priorities, and we have mindset training specifically for wellness e-commerce entrepreneurs. So if you want to learn more about how we can help you identify and solve the constraints if you're still in that 0 to 500K a month phase, definitely book a call with us, and we look forward to talking with you soon.